The best way to get rid of child sexual abuse is to actually remove it at source. My name's Susie Hargreaves. I'm the Chief Executive of the Internet Watch Foundation. I joined the IWF in 2011. I've been here for 9 years, and I was attracted for the same reason that every person who works here is attracted. We wanted to make a tangible difference. We wanted to actually do something to help children. You know, that's what the IWF does every day. The IWF was founded in 1996 by a group of internet companies, and at that time the government and the police said to them, look, you're responsible for having this content on your networks, and if you don't do something to clean up your networks, we're going to prosecute you. The IWF has 155 members, and some of the biggest names in the world: Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. And all of these organisations feel they have a responsibility not just to do that for their customers, but as I always say, you know, they are run by people, and they are people who don't want to be associated with child sexual abuse. I think everybody who works at the IWF feels quite challenged when they start working here, because you're going to be thrust into a situation where you're seeing images and videos that, you know, normal people don't actually see, and they're really quite horrendous in nature. You need to understand what you're seeing, and you need to be trained to see them. And you always worry about, is that going to impact on my personal life? Is it going to impact on my relationship with my husband, with my children? It is really difficult to measure how much content is out there. When we started, 18% of content was hosted in the UK, and since 2004 it's been less than 1%. So the UK has a zero tolerance approach to hosting, and if we do find content here, we get it removed really quickly. So if every country did that, we'd have nowhere for this content to hide. At the same time as we don't host content, we do have a lot of people looking at it. And the latest statistics from the police as we went into lockdown are that at any one time in the UK, there are around 300,000 people looking at child sexual abuse in the UK alone. What we know is that the people who are most likely to first see this type of content and the least likely to report it are young men. So we have been focusing our energies on campaigns to target young men, to get them to realise it's not a victimless crime, that if they see this content, they need to do the right thing and report it to us. And we've had a number of very successful campaigns in that respect.
I'm a senior internet content analyst, so we take reports from the public and pretty much remove indecent images of children off the internet. I'd only been here about 3 months when I got a new image in, and it was thumbnails on an image board, and alongside that was a video link. The image was probably found by a young lad who just sort of thought something just isn't right in that image. She was quite young, and it was quite sexually explicit. You could see by the video and her interactions with her laptop that she was being cajoled and groomed online. You're not just looking at the abuse, but you're looking at everything inside that image. You're looking at the room that the child's in. There's a number of things in the room that tied us into her location. You take all the information, compile it all up and send it to the police, and then just hope for the best. Within a couple of days, I got a phone call at my desk from the police to tell me that they'd found the victim and that she'd been safeguarded. The young lad that reported to us probably doesn't even realise what he's done and how he's helped that child.
One of the really shocking trends we've seen over recent years has been the increase in self-generated content. These are normally children in their bedrooms and domestic settings who've got a laptop, a tablet, a camera-enabled device, an internet connection, and they clearly have been coerced, tricked by someone on the other side of the camera into doing sexual acts which are then videoed and then shared on child sexual abuse websites. And the majority of those are girls aged 11 to 13. So these are clearly children who are at their most vulnerable. And the numbers are now scary. In 2019, a third of what we removed was self-generated. And this year so far, over 40% has been self-generated. We are working with a range of partners to do a national campaign to target children, to find ways to keep themselves safer online. We're also targeting parents and carers, because they will often think, because their child is upstairs, in the bedroom, on the internet, that they're safe. And they will be totally unaware sometimes that their child is being exploited and coerced. So we really want to provide the necessary protections. Every single image that we take action on has to be assessed by a human being. We don't rely totally on technology, we use it to aid our analysts. About 5 years ago, if you were a victim of child sexual abuse, your image would be out there on the internet and it would be shared again and again and again. Microsoft started developing a tool called Photodna, which enabled us to apply a digital fingerprint to known images of child sexual abuse. And we call this digital fingerprint a hash, and then we go out using that hash and search for matches. And this provides a huge amount of comfort to the victims because they know that there is a chance that we can get those images taken down for good. We are able to simultaneously alert law enforcement and the company at the same time. And that has resulted in the speed of removal from 20 days down to 2 or 3 days. People can report anonymously to the IWF. The only time we share information with the police is when we see a potential new victim, or if there was a question of a risk to life, or anything to do with safeguarding. But actually, we do not share information about who reports to us to the police. I would say to people, if you really care about the mission, and if you really care about technology, come and work for organisations like us, because it's phenomenally satisfying to know that you make a difference. We've grown so much since we started, and most importantly, we've removed so much content from the internet, and we've given young people and children hope. We have to constantly innovate. We have to look at ways to stay one step ahead of criminals. We have to share that resource to fight the problem from a technological standpoint. We collectively have to have a zero tolerance approach because we owe it to every single child in every single image to do what we can to protect them.